Today's topic is quite interesting. The fact that it talks about um, how you just have to be resilient in whatever it is you're doing. So, and shout out to Fort Worth Playboy because the title was just gotten from him. I didn't even try to edit or anything because it just actually explains what I'm thinking and the way I see things actually. So I'm just in line with his opinion. So this is just my opinion. This video is basically my opinion. So every great seducer has over 1,000 failures under his belt. So I know why I said over. So and this is not to say I am a great seducer, but I've seen great success, So, and it requires that you have to be a keen observer of certain things and you have to notice patterns, And over time, when you start, for me, it's always cold approach. I've always loved cold approach. So when you start cold approaching women and you now realize that, oh, this works, this doesn't work, the way I speak is a little bit soft, you have to put some bass to it, then you now realize it, there's a way it affects the woman you're speaking to, and there are some other nuances where you would realize that, oh, you have to at least initiate some form of contact so the woman feels comfortable around you. You touch her, all those little nuances, because when you don't touch her, it's like, oh, like, this guy, is he a robot or what, or he doesn't have emotions concerning me. That's what she would be thinking. So there are a lot of things you start picking up when you start approaching women consistently over time, and you start building momentum, because at first it's rare for people at their first approach to actually have success. It's very, very rare, and because most of us are rusty, we don't even know how to go about approaching women. So it takes a lot of rejections, a lot of failures, from your side, and for you to realize, you have to be keen and observe, okay, what really works. Okay, I messed up here, I have to fine tune it. Like yesterday, I had this conversation. I was having a conversation with a girl, and she suddenly she was all bubbly and all that. Then she suddenly, I was saying a lot of nasty things, and she suddenly started drifting her leg apart because her leg was very close to me. And I noticed that, but it didn't register to my head that, oh, she was already turned on. I would have just said more spicier things and just make her feel comfortable. Like, I understand why she's feeling that way, because I've seen something like that before, and I didn't read so much meaning to it. So, but I've seen it happen to someone else, you understand, but not exactly the same way, but it's just a pattern. So, all these nuances you start observing. If you're a keen observer, you observe it and you take notes, and probably in the next approach, somebody else, another lady, you probably apply, you now know how to confront that situation compared to your previous encounter with women. So you would always keep fine-tuning your strategy, your tactics, the way you move with women, regardless of whoever it is. You keep fine-tuning it. So that's what will make you a great seducer. Because I recall there was another scenario whereby, for a very long time, I have always had this fear. I had this insecurity and fear with tall girls. I just don't like talking to tall girls, like very extremely tall girls, like girls from 6 foot above, But because I'm 5'7", so any girl let's say 5'11" or 6'1", 6'3", or 6 foot is very intimidating to me. as of then. So, but you know, at the time, I saw a girl at a place where I was sitting, and from there I kind of made eye contact, and you know, we started talking after everything. We started talking, and somehow we started we smooshed at some point, So, and when I realized that, oh, I could actually pull this girl to me. She's tall. I could actually pull her. Like, I had not at the time. I had not. Um, we had not had any intimate stuff like in the bedroom, but the fact that I could pull her, a very tall guy, I could pull her, and we could smoosh. Wow, that was like a confidence boost to me. I knew that, oh, like there is no woman on this planet Earth that I can't seduce. You know, it got to my head that's much. That was the way I was thinking. Like, there's no girl, there's no place I will go to, and I like someone, that I can't seduce. It got to that point. You get, and seduction is quite different. Seduction is a skill. So, and since then, I've been head over heels. Any tall girl I see and I like her, it's easier these days to just walk up to them and approach them and talk to them. Even though they'll be like, this guy is short, and they would probably want to reject me or reject me actually. So, but the confidence spike has already happened. So nobody can actually take that confidence from me, you get, because it's something that I earned over time, approaching women. Then, because tall women, we are actually girls that I just was insecure about them. So, but for me to conquer that fear, that and it boosts my confidence, and I felt like there was no woman on earth that I can't seduce. That was a good sign in the right direction. So that's why a great seducer would definitely have a lot of failures, rejections. You will have lots of rejections. I don't think I've had up to even 1,000 rejections. I don't think I've had even up to probably, let me say, 200 rejections. You get. So for even an average man to have, let me say, 100, that person is doing well. You get. So, but for me, I don't think I've had even, I'm just thinking within the range of 100 to 200, rejections in my entire life. So it's one of those things that, you must learn to get used to. It's part of the game. You don't have to frown about it. It's part of the game. It's what makes you tough. It's what makes you, understand women more better. There are certain nuances you start seeing, some certain patterns you start seeing, some body language you see, and you can easily decipher what it means immediately, without waiting till when you get home and you start thinking about it. You understand? Because for me, I usually, after every encounter, I reflect back on what happened. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? Especially, what do I do wrong mostly at times? And I start, and with that, I start becoming observant and trying to understand why it happened and all that. So, and I do some research as well. Then I now realize, oh, this is where I went wrong. This is what I did that actually triggered her, that made her to not have interest in me and all that. So those are the things that a great seducer understands. Because a great seducer is someone who would, because of the experiences he has had over a long period of time, it becomes easier for them to identify patterns and spontaneously address them. At the spur of the moment, they are already doing what's necessary because they already understand. So it takes time, it takes practice, because there's this thing about 10,000 hours. If you spend 10,000 hours doing a particular thing, over time you become a very good at it. You become good at it. So it's just almost the same thing. So, but you would have a lot of rejections. The rejections would always be there. You should be open to accept them. Rejection is not a terrible idea. It's just the fact that the society paints it as something that is very awkward, bad, and terrible. But it's something that you should reflect on and try as much as possible to improve on. If it's something that it's something that can be improved on, so it's not a bad thing. So the day you start seeing rejection differently, the day life becomes quite different for you. And the way you approach life is, you approach life as someone who is there to win, always win, and not play the second fiddle or to be a loser. So these are my own opinion about the idea of why you have to just not take failures as a terrible thing, not take rejection as a terrible thing. Even the greatest seducers in life, they've had a lot of rejection over time, so which is normal. So just enjoy the process and learn what you have to learn. Identify those patterns, because there are always patterns. People are unique, but you see, patterns are one of those things that you just have to learn how to identify and know how to approach them. So there are a lot of things. I can't just see them. I can't just see them like without just thinking about it. So there's no one that's coming to my mind right now, but those are the things. So I've yapped a lot. So, but I hope you guys learned one or two things at the same time. So it was a very great time to share this moment with you guys. So have a good day and stay blessed. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.